Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Wynn Las Vegas where we're going to Charlie's Sports Bar. Happy to have you along with me, let's head inside. Alright everyone, here we are seated at Charlie's Sports Bar. The Super Bowl makes its debut here in Las Vegas next weekend, and so I thought it was appropriate to show off a couple of places you can watch the game. Now, Charlie's Sports Bar is the resident eatery here at the Wynn's Racing Sportsbook, and it certainly fits the bill. So many screens showing off your favorite sports programming, as well as comfortable seats and upholstery. Still next to the casino floor so you can see all of the action. I actually really like the vibe here. Now, I don't actually watch a ton of sports, but I certainly love to eat, so we're going to take a look at what they have to offer, starting with the drinks. All right, and here is your alcohol list at Charlie's. Feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a closer look at these drinks. I'm not much of a drinker, so I don't really have a good point of reference. But there's your alcohol list. Wine, cocktails, beers. Not bad. And there's your alcohol list at Charlie's. Looks like about $10, $11 beers and about $20 cocktails. Let's go and see what they have to eat next. And here is your menu at Charlie's. Let's go and take a closer look here. Here are all of the appetizers. You have nachos, onion rings, fried ravioli. I'm putting two words together here. You have chicken wings and tenders. Here are your salads and greens. You've got some burgers and handhelds here. It looks like 4 different burgers on the left. And then, ooh, a General Tso's fried chicken sandwich. That sounds interesting. Got a cheesesteak, Reuben. I apologize about the glare. Not much I can do about that right now. And then here are some entrees, some signatures. Queso birria tacos, fish and chips. Oh, this all looks really good. And then you have your list of sides and shakes and floats as well. There's your menu. Not a bad looking menu there. A lot of classics that you're probably going to find at most sports bars, and I'm really interested to try things out because you know how it goes in my videos. Every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. So I'm going to get a nice variety, and together we'll see what this restaurant's all about. Appetizers are coming up first. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back everyone. Now my appetizers are here and this is looking really good. Let me give you a view. I got some of their chicken noodle soup as well as some buffalo hot wings. I went in on their ultimate nachos as well as their fried cheese raviolis. This is all looking really great. Time to give it a try. First dish I'd like to taste today is going to be the chicken noodle soup. It's a very cold and rainy day here in Las Vegas, so some soup sounded really good. First thing I want to try is the broth. It actually does smell pretty good. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, that's a very nice broth. It's actually a very light broth. It's not ultra salty, which is typical in a lot of chicken noodle soups. That I appreciate a lot. You can really taste the root vegetables in this broth. I'm actually quite happy with how distinct those flavors are. I really get the carrots and the onions here. There is also a hint of dill that comes on the back end of the taste. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. I'm not sure if that tangy flavor of dill is what I'm looking for typically in a chicken noodle soup, but the rest of the flavors are so good, it actually does kind of work here. It's a really good start, the broth is solid. Next up, we'll go and try the rest of the ingredients of the soup. Got a nice spoonful here. Let's give it a shot. You know what, not bad. There's a really nice cook on the vegetables here. They're not disintegrating, but they're certainly soft on the bite. The chicken is a tad stringy. I think it could be a little better, but the flavor of the chicken is actually quite nice. I actually got a big piece of dill in that bite, and truthfully, when I have that much in it, it is a bit off-putting for me. You know, I'd probably end up skimming around a little bit of that dill, and I do wish the chicken was a little bit better, but honestly, the broth is really great. This is overall pretty good. Next up, I'm doing the fried ravioli. There's certainly a lot going on this fried ravioli, but the skin was super crispy as I forked it. Hopefully this is good. You know, I'd say that's just okay. There's actually a very nice crisp on the exterior of these raviolis. A nice fry job there. They're using ricotta cheese in the center, which has a very mild flavor. I think it could use a little bit of additional seasoning. There's actually quite a lot of herbs here, just not a lot of spices. The rosemary is actually quite nice, giving a little bit of that floral note. And there's a bit of a savory saltiness coming from what I want to say is something very similar to like a toasted Parmesan on the outside. However, I think the filling is a little lacking in flavor, just a little bit of salt in that ricotta cheese, and I think that could really set this off. going to go ahead and try dipping it into the accompanying sauce. I will say the sauce has a beautiful color to it. Let's see how this tastes. Now that is really good. The arrabbiata sauce here is really flavorful. A really beautiful mix of spicy and natural sweetness. There's actually a beautiful heat here. The spice of the sauce actually really helps you appreciate the herby nature of the raviolis. It's a really great flavor. A little bit of natural sweetness from the tomato there, and the seasoning is on point as well as a beautiful garlic level. It enhances the flavor of these raviolis tenfold. You really should not be eating these raviolis without dipping into the sauce. Next up, we're going in on the nachos. There's a lot going on these nachos. I tried to get a pretty good distribution on this chip. Let's see how this is. Oh yeah, that's actually quite good. Firstly, these have to be the best tortilla chips I've had in a really long time. Perfectly crispy and crunchy, but the flavor of corn in these chips is very distinct. It sets a wonderful stage for the rest of the nachos. Definitely some heat to these nachos. Fresno chilies are not just for show, and there's jalapenos throughout the nachos as well. The beef barbacoa is actually quite delicious. It's tender, very juicy, and seasoned very well. There's an incredibly distinct pepperiness coming from that barbacoa. It makes for a very aromatic bite. The black beans in the nachos also provide a little bit of earthiness in the middle of the bite here. And while I can't say I necessarily taste that jalapeno crema, you definitely get a richness from it. Interestingly, the bite starts with the flavor of the tortilla chips and ends with the flavor of the tortilla chip as well, really giving testament to how deep those corn flavors are. I actually like these quite a bit. These are solid nachos. And the last appetizer to try today is the chicken tenders. You have your choice between chicken tenders and chicken wings here, as well as 3 different sauces: chili, lime, sweet and spicy, and classic buffalo. I went with classic buffalo today. And I will say these have a really great color to them. Let's see how they taste straight up. You know what, not bad. Now these are about as standard of a chicken tender I think you're gonna find. There's nothing super outstanding about it, though I wouldn't call it bad by any means. The breading, while decently seasoned, I wouldn't say has a ton of crunch to it. In fact, I'd actually say it's quite soft. The chicken inside is decent. It's not dry. I wouldn't call it super moist either, though. Honestly, just very middle of the road. The buffalo hot sauce is also pretty standard here. It definitely does lean spicy, although I wouldn't say it's blazing by any stretch. And there is a nice amount of vinegar here, providing that tang that you want. No serious complaints, it's a solid chicken tender. Go ahead and dip it into some ranch here. And we give this a shot as well. The ranch is thick here at Charlie's, no complaints there. And a nice cooling, tangy flavor. It certainly provides a nice richness to these chicken tenders, really letting you appreciate the dichotomy between the spicy and cooling flavors. Honestly, no serious complaints, just pretty standard middle-of-the-road hot chicken tenders here. Alright everyone, now that's all of the appetizers I'm trying today. I'm going to go ahead and continue working on this a little bit, and then we'll do some handhelds next. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. Welcome back everyone. Now we have our handhelds, and these are looking pretty good. Let me give you a view. I got the namesake Charlie burger, as well as that General Tso's chicken sandwich, and their hot dog. A sports bar has to have really good handhelds. Hopefully the ones here at Charlie's are solid. First up, I'm trying the Charlie burger. Pretty solid looking cheeseburger here. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty classic tasting double cheeseburger here. A toasted sesame seed bun. Although I am a little curious if this was the design to cut the top portion so thinly. I guess it does give the bottom bun a little more space to soak up some moisture without being too soggy on my fingers. So I guess if it is by design, I understand the intent. I don't have any real complaints when it comes to the burger meat here. It looks like it was cooked a little close to medium well, but I wouldn't actually say it's too dry. There's still a decent amount of moisture in this burger. The meat is well seasoned, a solid beefy flavor. I really don't have any complaints when it comes to the meat. The caramelized onions are actually very nice here, providing a bit of their nutty sweetness. And the shredded lettuce here is crisp and fresh, no real complaints. I will say, I think the tomato is a tad mealy today. Not the best texture, and I'm not getting a ton of flavor from it either. There's a burger sauce very akin to a Thousand Island in here, very creamy, and providing a nice rich hit to the bite. I honestly don't have any serious complaints about the cheeseburger, it's good. Next up, we're trying General Tso's chicken sandwich. A seriously massive chicken sandwich here. Let's see how this tastes. Okay, that is really good. I will say I'm quite a fan of the buns here at Charlie's Sports Bar. I'm a big fan of these challah buns. A little bit of a flakier crust with that challah bun, but still a pillowy, airy center. I actually really like the chicken meat here. It's incredibly moist. You can actually see how juicy this chicken meat is. This is a very bold General Tso sauce. Tons of garlic, ginger, get a little bit of nuttiness from some sesame oil in there, and a nice level of umami coming from the soy. Because of how bold that General Tso sauce flavor is, this Asian slaw is really welcome in the bite. The tang you get from the vinegar really helps to cut through a lot of those flavors, providing some depth and variation. The pickled Fresnos are actually providing a very subtle heat here, while amplified by the spicy mayo. It does serve a double purpose, providing some richness to the sandwich, and this is all coming together very well. I'm a big fan of this one. Next up is the hot dog. Can't exactly say this is the biggest hot dog I've seen in my life, and clocking in at $17.50. I was expecting something maybe more akin to like a foot long. Hopefully, despite its size, it packs a punch and flavor. Let's see how it is. Yeah, that's fine. Despite the light color to this bun, there is a slight toast on it, giving it a bit of a crispy exterior. And while it does have a bit of a light sweetness, I wouldn't say it's imparting a ton of flavor. The all-beef hot dog here is nice. It has a good casing, a little bit of snap to it, but also a bit of some smokiness coming from the char. It is very beefy and meaty. Honestly, I don't really have a ton of complaints when it comes to the flavor of the dog itself. Honestly, just a pretty decent hot dog here. Now, the hot dog is served with condiments on the side. I'm a ketchup, mustard, and relish kind of dude, and so this is typically how I have my hot dogs, and I have a pretty solid idea of what I'm expecting here. Yeah, perfectly fine. A nice sweet ketchup there, a little bit of bite coming from that mustard, and the sweet and sour flavors of the relish all come together very well. This is the kind of hot dog I enjoy, although personally I would like it to be twice as long. And the last bite to try from the Handhelds are going to be the French fries. Looks like all of the Handhelds just come with French fries, no real other options when it comes to sides. And they're serving crinkle cuts here at Charlie's, my favorite type of French fry. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's good. Ultra crispy French fries. I really love the textures. So satisfying to bite into, a perfect crunch. The insides of these French fries are also very pillowy. About as close to a perfect French fry when it comes to texture here for me. A really great salt level here, no bland fries at the Charlie's. And they're also not super oily, which I'm really appreciating here. These fries are really great, I like them a lot. Alright my friends, now that's all of the Handhelds today. I'm going to go and take a couple more bites and then wrap this up to go because I have another round of entrees coming. Don't go anywhere, I'll see when those arrive. Welcome back my friends, now our last round of entrees are here and this is looking good, let me give you a view. I got their chicken birria tacos as well as their Detroit pizza and an order of their fish and chips. Looks pretty good for our last round of food, let's give it a try. First bite we're trying is the chicken birria taco. Can't say I've had chicken birria before. Typically I'm used to having beef or goat, but I'm certainly not opposed to it. Let's see how it is. You know what, not bad. I give a lot of praise to the tortillas here at Charlie's. They're very good. There's a great elasticity to them. They're not breaking under the pressure and they're still able to fold very well. There's a really great corn flavor here. I imagine these are what they chop up to make those chips for the nachos. It is a very good base for these tacos. I do love that they're using two tortillas here, often seen in many street tacos, but what's really nice here is that they have a layer of cheese in between the two tortillas. It actually gives a nice creamy richness to every portion of the bite. I like that a lot. The chicken is, I guess, where I take a little bit of issue with the name birria taco, because I can't really say I taste the distinct flavors of the peppers I'm expecting. It's not a bland chicken, but it doesn't have any heat. The spice flavor is very mild if present at all, and while it's not bad, it's just not birria. Onions and cilantros are always welcome in my street tacos, and they're doing a fine job here. Get a little bit of bite from those onions as well as the freshness from the cilantro. I will say the one drawback currently for me is that the tortilla is incredibly greasy. You can see how much grease has made its way onto my fingers. It is testament though to the richness of the bite. Honestly, it's not a bad chicken taco, I just don't know if I would call it a great birria taco. Let's go ahead and dip it into some consomme here. This is obviously what gives that trademark flavor. Now let's give it a shot. Yeah, you know what, not bad. Now off the bat, I'll just say the flavors of the consomme here are just okay. They certainly have the right chili flavor, get a little bit of smokiness and some spice. However, I'll say they're a tad muted. There's a bit more of a sour tang than I'm used to in this particular consomme recipe. Perhaps they added a little too much lime or lemon, but it's just a tad off balance for me. I want a little more of a savory note here, especially considering how the chicken doesn't carry a lot of those flavors. That said, when it all comes together, this is my first time trying a chicken birria taco, and it's not bad. Next up, we're trying the Detroit pizza, a very interesting Detroit-style pizza. I don't know if this exactly follows the archetype, but I'm typically not one to turn away a slice. Let's see how this is. You know, that's pretty good. Now, I don't really think I can call this a Detroit-style pizza. While they're following the basics, like having the cheese on the bottom and the sauce on top, the clearest distinction for a Detroit style is to have those really crispy edges to the crust. You want the cheese up to the edges, almost folding in over to create a bit of a crispy, nutty layer, and that's certainly not the case here for this pizza. That's not to say, though, that the crust is bad. It actually has a very developed flavor. I want to say that they've actually let this proof and age for a couple of days. It has a texture very similar to focaccia. It's dense and bready, while maintaining a very crispy and flaky exterior. They're using the arrabbiata sauce from the fried raviolis, and it's certainly working wonderfully here for me. That little bit of additional heat and spice is really setting off the flavors here, setting a very nice base for those salty pepperonis to come through. The cheese is also providing a salty richness. Honestly, in general, it's a pretty solid pizza. I just don't think I would call it a Detroit style. Alright everyone, now the last bite of food I'm trying today is the fish and chips. Feels pretty good in my hand so far, let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Excellent cook on this fish. You have a very light crispy batter on this exterior, as well as a very moist and flaky codfish inside. There's a very light seasoning in the batter, and it doesn't really overpower any flavors here. Considering how mild the flavor of the cod is, it's actually very well done, because you really get to taste the fish. Now, while the batter does feel light and crispy, upon holding it further, it is quite greasy. I guess this shares that in common with the tacos. But I think the flavors here are fine. This is solid. Dip it into the tartar sauce here, and we give it a shot. Yeah, that's quite good. Definitely got a homemade tartar sauce here. Very different from your standard store-bought sauce. There's a lot of citrus in here. I want to say they've really amped up the lemon flavors, which obviously works very well with seafood. There's a good garlic flavor also in this tartar sauce. I appreciate that a lot. And a nice amount of tang coming from the dill here as well. I think there's also some capers in here, which is interesting, giving a little bit of that floral note. You know, I'm a fan. I actually really like this sauce for the fish. Alright everyone, now that's all of the food I'm trying today. I'm absolutely stuffed, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get some boxes to pack this up to go, and then we're going to do just a little bit of dessert on the other side. Don't go anywhere because sweets are coming up. Welcome back everyone. Now my dessert is here and this is looking so good. Let me give you a view. Now they don't have a ton of desserts on the menu. Milkshakes, creamsicle floats, and root beer floats. I went with the creamsicle float today. If you watch the channel enough, you know I'm a huge sucker for anything vanilla and orange. And so this is looking really good. I'm excited for this one. Oh, that is delicious. Now I had a very different picture in mind when I ordered this. I thought it was going to be your standard vanilla ice cream and some orange soda. Not the case here. They've created something very akin to an orange slush. It actually has a bit of a creamy texture, and I'll say I am in love with that orange slush. A very in-your-face flavor with that citrus and orange. It's super refreshing. Mixed into the slush is some vanilla bean ice cream. I don't think it captures on the camera very well, but you can actually see the specks of vanilla bean. The flavors are just super smooth. The whipped cream also provides a bit of additional sweetness, and I'll say it, I'm in love. This is one of the best orange creamsicles I've ever had. Alright my friends, now that does it for my dinner here at Charlie's Sports Bar at the Wynn Las Vegas. My dinner came out to just under $260 today before tip, and I certainly enjoyed my meal. I actually really love the nachos from the Appetizers today. Really great chips, solid toppings, it was good. General Tso's chicken sandwich was absolutely my favorite entree of the day today. There were some bold flavors there, as well as a lot of balance. It was good. I can't really say anything was particularly terrible today, though I do think the size of the hot dog leaves a little bit to be desired, and personally I'd probably be taking the dill out of that chicken noodle soup. All in all though, if you're looking for a great eatery next to a racing sportsbook, I think you can have some pretty good food at Charlie's at the Wynn. Alright my friends, now that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and this coming Tuesday we're going to be visiting another local eatery, one that I think is going to be a super cool spot to check out the Super Bowl. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.